First of all, thank everyone for their cards and notes and everything during my recent illness. It was greatly appreciated. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the city manager for submitting my name for reappointment, and certainly to the city councilors. I would like to say a personal thank you for seeing fit to allow me to serve for the next 6 years. So those of you sitting out there that don't know me, we'll be visiting each other, I'm sure, over the course of the next 6 years. Thank you. First on the agenda.
Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for special one-day licenses for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Ray Serrano for Sunday, July 13th, 2008, from 12 noon to 10 p.m. The event is the Puerto Rican Cultural Festival. It's a malt beverage and wine concession is to be located in a fence-enclosed area on French Street from John to Kirk Streets. John N. Hines, for the malt beverage concessionaire for the New England Riptide Games. The venue will be at the Martin Softball Field at 758 Roger Street. There are 28 games scheduled, a home schedule, starting with June the 12th and running through to August the 17th. Corey Belanger for Saturday, June 14th, 2008, from 7 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. The event is the annual Jamboree, the concession within a fence-enclosed area in front of Major's Pub at 34 Jackson Street. Also, Corey Belanger for Saturday, June 28th, 2008, from 8 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. The event is the 80s Block Party. Again, the concession will be in a fence-enclosed area in front of Major's Pub at 34 Jackson Street. Corey Belanger is also handling the concessions for Lowell Folk Festival. There are 3 venues. The festival starts July 25th and runs through to July 27th. The 3 venues will be at the Boarding House Park in front, which is a concession area, I believe, will be in the Cotton Storehouse on French Street. And that's Friday, July 25th, Saturday, July 26th, and Sunday, July 27th. There is also the Dutton Street Dance Pavilion for July 25th, July 26th, and July 27th, and at the JFK Civic Plaza for Saturday, July 26th, and Sunday, July 27th. Also, we have an application for wine only. This is by Marianne Grease of the Coalition of a Better Acre for Friday, June 13, 2008, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The event is a fundraiser for the Coalition for a Better Acre to be held at St. Joseph's Apartments at 511 Moody Street. Also, for all alcoholic beverages, Thomas McKay, the backstage concession. Colleen McDonald is present on his behalf for Saturday, June 7th, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. The event is the Friends of Shed Park fundraiser to be held at the Shed Park Fieldhouse, which is at Route 38, Roger Street. Also, we have Geronimo P. Silver of the Holy Ghost Society for 10 events at the Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street, starting with a community reunion on Saturday, May 31st, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., a wedding reception for Saturday, June 14th, from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., St. John's Feast runs Saturday, June 21st, and Sunday, June 22nd. For Saturday, it will be 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., Sunday would be 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. There are wedding receptions for 3 consecutive Saturdays, starting with June 28th, July 12th, and July 19th. They're 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. each. And a birthday party for Sunday, July 20th, from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. A birthday party Saturday, July 26th, from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. And a wedding reception for Saturday, August 2nd, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay, at some point, just step to the mic and give your name for the record, please.
John Hines with the New
Okay,
England
John.
Riptide.
That's it.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Marianne Grease, Coalition for a Better Acre.
Ray Serrano, Puerto Rican Festival.
Carlene McDonald, Backstage Concessions.
Geronimo Silva, Holy Ghost.
Okay, everybody's here. How many of you been before us? Before? Oh, you got one. You got one, so you're gonna get the abbreviated version. Okay, Mary Ann, this is your license. If we grant this license, this is your license. It does not belong to the Coalition for a Better Acre. The commission has always been very concerned about people stepping out and saying, oh, I'll run that. I'll do that. Oh, that's good. You can get the liquor license. Okay, so you're here. And I know that you took an afternoon off from work, or whether you took an afternoon away from your family, but you're here. You're the one that's giving up the time. The Coalition for a Better Acre doesn't own that license, you do. Okay? Something goes wrong, you say, this is my license. You know, I don't know if you're going to have a police detail or not. It is not a policy of this board to require that you have one. We suggest that it's a why, but it's not our policy to say you should. But I would say to you, if you don't have one on site, make sure you have a phone and you have the police number, you know, right into it. So you press a button and it rings and it goes, okay? Because what happens in these events is, you know, somebody says, oh, Mary Ann, don't worry about it. I've been a bartender before. I'll serve the drinks for you. And, you know, things start to get out of hand. And then you know what? They're never there when the responsibility comes. They say, well, she got the license. She enabled me to get these people drunk, so therefore you should hold her responsible. And that's what the rest of these people will tell you. That's the problem today, is nobody wants to step up and say, it's my fault, I did it. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I did it. And especially with alcohol, because it's so volatile. So many people have a personality change after they've had a few drinks. Unfortunately, when you have an outing, far too many people today say, let's have a couple of beers before we go. So they've had 2 or 3 beers at home, and they only need 1 or 2 to tip them over the edge. And when everything goes wrong, they say, where you been drinking? Or the police would say, where's the last place you had a drink? And they're going to say, oh, Mary, the Coalition for the Better Acre, that Mary Ann, she made me drink it. I didn't want it, but she made me drink it. So that's the reason why we make sure everybody understands it's your license. Take the license. You know, you'll say, well, I'll lose all my friends. They're not your friends. They are not your friends. Because I'll guarantee you if something goes wrong, not one of them will show up to help you or try to defend you. Or they will run from you like rats deserting a ship. And you'll be standing out there by yourself. With that being said, how's the park going? Okay, you got a lot of 1 o'clocks there. Okay? I don't need to say anything else, right? Good. Okay?
Just good luck in all your events.
Yeah, I'll add good luck, and I thank you guys for holding these events. It's kind of the stuff that makes Lowell a place people want to come down to. So with that, I'll make the motion to go ahead and grant the licenses.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The ones that are going for a amplified outdoor, please remain. Next.
Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. Dolores Torres of the Lowell Puerto Rican Cultural Festival for Sunday, July 13, 2008, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. The outdoor venue is the Boarding House Park, and on French Street from John to Kirk Streets. The entertainment will be bands, amplified music, sound system. Corey Belanger of Major's Pub for 34 Jackson Street for Saturday, June 14, 2008, from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. Sound system with disc jockey within a fenced area on the public way. Also, Corey Belanger for Saturday, June 28th, from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. Again, the sound system with disc jockey in a fenced area on the public way. Also, we have Geronimo P. Silver of the Holy Ghost Society for events at Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. This has to do with the St. John's Feast for Saturday, June 21st, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, and also Sunday, June 22nd, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and there will be a band music with sound system.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take this time. On the 14th of June, there is going to be a live band. I normally go with DJ, but I did not let Ryan, did not make him aware of that, but I just want to let this commission know that on the
Okay.
14th.
Dolores Torres for the Puerto Rican Festival.
Okay,
And Geronimo Silva with the Holy Ghost.
okay. Outdoor amplified sound, okay? Have you been before us,
Yes, I have last year.
Dolores? You have? Okay. Do we have any problems? Anybody aware of any problems with the noise or any noise levels or anything in downtown? Okay. That's all it is. It's just common sense. It's common sense. You know, if you can walk 5 blocks away and you can still hear the music, don't start dancing. Get back there and tell them, I think it's a bit loud. Okay, that's,
I have nothing to add. I know that we haven't had any complaints. So, anything else?
nope.
That's it.
All right, go ahead and make the motion to grant the licenses.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Good luck. I hope you have a great day.
You're gonna set a record for your fastest meeting.
Commission will now take up the matter of an application by Aaron R. Kalian of the Lowell, Massachusetts for a temporary vendor's license for a location in the Central Business District between Market and Middle Streets on Central Street for Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
He was the only one.
The applicant will be operating a lunch cart selling sausages, hot dogs, chicken, and non-alcoholic beverages. This is in accordance with the City of Lowell Ordinance, Chapter 11, Section 11-105-1 to Section 11-105-16 inclusive. Mr. Chairman, about 10 years ago, the City Council had taken a great deal of pain and trouble to amend the ordinance pertaining to hawker and peddlers in the downtown area. They did allow, by way of ordinance, 5 designated areas, not specific to any one location, but in the central business district, which would encompass Market Street, Middle Street, Merrimack Street, over to French Street, and down to Connie Square and up as far as Dutton Street. It would be to the License Commission to designate 5 permanent sites and/or in conjunction with the Special Events Coordinator. Mr. Arkalian had been at one location for an extended period of time 10 years ago. Apparently has resumed operations at that location in recent weeks. He was advised to apply for the license. The annual license fee is $500 per city ordinance.
Introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Aaron Arakilian, 32 Newell Street, Lowell, Mass.
Okay. My first question has to be, what are you doing with the used cars?
Well, the used cars, that's something I have to do, but the hot dogs and sausages concession, that's what I love to do. So the downtown concession, it's seasonal, minus rainy days and very windy days.
Yeah.
But the cars I could do all year round, and that's I do both, so we try.
Okay, now you're going to be in the same location you always were, right?
Yeah.
Right on, right, okay.
Yeah, the same place,
Yeah.
exactly. I didn't have a picture.
Okay.
I did a picture.
No, it's okay, we got the, I'm familiar with,
Yeah, it's
he's
same
been there for
location. I've
years.
been for the last 14 years, maybe. 13
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, okay. We had any problems? Anything that you can think of? No? I don't have a problem with it. You've always, I know that you've always kept it nice and neat and clean, and we go by there and off, you know, and I don't have any problem with it. A little more money in hot dogs and sausages than used cars, huh?
I enjoy it more.
When are you going to start serving the Armenian food there?
I gotta add that.
All right, good
Sure.
deal. All right.
Seeing no other questions, I'll make the motion to go ahead and grant the license.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
You're all set.
Thank you very
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just caution Hiram, is that the ordinance is specific to the fact that the license goes with you only,
Okay.
and no one else is designated to take that spot.
Uh-huh.
In your absence, no one is there.
Well, the employees, I mean, I wouldn't like sell it to anybody.
Well, that's for I don't know, that doesn't seem to be what the ordinance.
No.
What do you mean, as far as having somebody work for him, or one of his family, or what?
Well, the ordinance, as I understand it, reads that the licensee is the individual. That being Aram under the present circumstances.
Law department? What we got?
It does appear that the application for a temporary vendor's license involves...
Would this be considered temporary? He's going to have a year. He's not just getting a license for, there's a difference between, like, getting a license if a parade's coming or something to the city as opposed to, isn't there?
Well, I mean, my understanding is what he has applied for is a temporary vendor's license. That falls under this
Okay.
ordinance, and it's specific to the vendor being an individual, not a business.
See, Mr. Chairman, if I can just add to that, an individual under this ordinance who is granted such a license, as Aram has just been granted, he has to have a state license as well, issued by the Division of Standards. His particular cart has to comply with, as it be the case, with the health standards that are in place, and the city health inspector would be one who would make sure that there is compliance as far as proper food handling and cleanliness. So the ordinance is for an individual, not for a company or a number of individuals working off the same cart. It is for that person only. There are, by way of ordinance, they would allow for additional 4 other sites in the area of the central business district, provided the License Commission was to approve those other sites. It doesn't specify which sites, but it defines the general geographical area, which is defined under the city ordinance as a central business district. So if Aram is unable because of health or because circumstances don't allow him to be there, weather-wise or
Otherwise,
he should not be able to, there should not be anyone there. And that would apply to the other locations, should there be 4 other locations designated by the License Commission.
Mr. Chairman, my understanding would be that if there was to be another individual working at the stand, they would need to apply for a license themselves,
okay.
because it's an individual thing. Each
So the
individual
license is specific to that site
Specific to the site and the person.
and the person.
and the person. Okay.
Would that be additional fee for the
Yeah.
other person? For the
Wouldn't
same,
there?
for the same location?
There'd be an additional fee, right? They have to pay a fee for another license.
But I'm
The way, but see, the thing, I'm, obviously, this is gonna have to be for further consideration at a later date. I'm sure Aram's situation as it stands is satisfactory, but the license goes with the individual
Right.
for that particular location. There is a location that to say that he's going to be on Central Street, we all have a sense of where that is. It sits between Middle and Market Street.
Yeah.
It is the sidewalk area that's in front of the high-rise building.
Right.
It's about a 10-story high-rise
Sure.
building, formerly was a bank,
Yep.
and that is his site. So to grant a license to an additional person at that location, theoretically, you would say you could have 2 people at that one location. That would be a separate license. Or, he'll be on the one corner and the other person would be on another corner.
Okay, then I think, that's a point well taken. I think we need to let it go. You've got your license right now. I think we need to talk to the law department about it, to find out whether you can get a an assistant's license, or, you know, I don't know. I mean, we're not that knowledgeable in it, so Ryan is, and I think he's correct. He usually is. He tries to make us look stupid. He's pretty successful at it. But anyways, the point is, you've got your license and you can operate, so you can buy some time with it. I think I'd go to the city and say, you know, what about my, you know, if you're thinking in terms of like, you know, your son or somebody in your family that's going to use the same equipment and be in the same spot.
Which is happening. I have 2 employees on my payrolls, which is my brothers.
I know, but what Ryan's saying is, the license and the site is specific to you. You can't bring your brother on there to work it, because he's not licensed to be there. You've got the site, not him.
Okay.
Okay, and then and as he said, you've got to have a state license besides.
Could I ask a question? What if I would have applied for today's license as a company, which is IMDBA? Yellow
No,
Silver? No, it has to
the
be
ordinance specifically says,
for the person.
no, he can't get the license as a company.
Yeah, the reason for why the ordinance was drafted in the manner it is presently written is because the council 10 years ago didn't want to have a glut of vendors in the downtown area that would
Overwhelm the
impose
folk
their ways
festival.
on the local businesses, the
Yeah.
retail and the restaurants in that area. So there was allowances to give a
Right.
minimum amount, which would not be prohibitive outright. So in other words,
The main thing that tripped it was they wanted to take steps. You have all these businesses in the downtown area that are paying taxes, that are supporting the city. And traditionally, and I speak from firsthand knowledge, you bring a major parade or a major event to the city, and somehow or another, all these big companies find out about it, and they come into the city with these huge trucks, and they just unload the vending carts. They sell all the balloons and all the stuff to all the people, and then they leave the city of Lowell with all the money. And the
That's
people
actually-
that kill themselves got nothing out of it.
Well, actually, before the arena was built, that was my proposal. I actually proposed to the city council.
So this
to
way,
make that our ordinance.
but this way here, they're guaranteeing you a spot,
Oh, great.
okay?
I think the analogy is this. You have a truck, you have a driver's license. You can drive that truck with your license. Your brother can't use your driver's license. He has to have his own license.
Okay.
So if you have a cart, you have a license to be a vendor in that location. If your brother wants to get a license to be a vendor in that location, he would need his own license.
Okay. Okay. then
If that's, if I put it in, I guess, if I give it a decent enough analogy.
No.
I think that would be correct, although I do want to clarify. I don't think that the licenses are tied to fixed locations necessarily. You get, the ordinance states that you get priority at a fixed location if you've been there for 3 years. Since this is a new license, it would appear that there's no priority for any fixed location.
Okay.
So if your 2 brothers came in to get 2 separate licenses, I believe that they could work that same location in the same cart.
Right.
Using the same equipment, whether or not,
If
Okay.
If they had their own vendor.
If they decided
license,
to-
it made good sense if they wanted to sell downtown.
right.
Okay.
All right?
All set.
Okay.
Great.
Did we vote on his license? We did. Okay? Take care.
Great, thank you.
Again, you do a nice job out there. It's nice and clean. I know that you're very good to the elderly people, and that's what we need. Thank you. Next on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a communication from the Superintendent of Police, Ken Flavelli. It's dated May 12, 2008. It's alleging that the Gaelic American Club, John B. Brady is the manager of record. There is a violation, and it would be a matter for the board to schedule a hearing on the allegation of misconduct, and
Make a motion to bring him in. When's the next? When would be the next appropriate date?
it would appear that, given the content of the complaint, the board might want to consider hours. If that be the case, it would be best to schedule such a hearing for June 19th.
Okay.
'Cause
Make a
there's
motion, we bring him in on June 19th.
Second the motion.
Send him the appropriate notice.
Also, I want to point out to the board that the Gaelic American Club is one of two club licensees who have not filed their annual report of officers and paid employees. In fact, the Gaelic Club, this is being the second year in which such a report has not been filed. I have notified them last year on the matter.
Include that in their notice.
Okay.
Can you revoke their license for that?
No, I don't think that. I think it's just that they should be mindful of the fact that the minimum standards that the state requires under Chapter 138 of the General Laws of Massachusetts, which is the Liquor Control Act, is that the club file their annual report showing who their new officers are and paid employees.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, the club licensees are nonprofit corporations.
Yep.
They don't have to comply in the same manner that the profit corporations do, such as the bars and restaurants in the city of Lowell, in which they make changes of officers and directors, in which anything of that nature where it's a profit corporation has to have local board approval and the approval of the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission. Club licensees, being nonprofit, pretty much can have officer changes annually. The record of the License Commission doesn't show any changes or any.
Well,
For
in
2
his,
years.
in his letter, instruct him to bring in the appropriate documentation, and I'll make a motion on the Bunting Club that we notify them to come in and to deliver personally at the meeting the appropriate documents.
Sure, okay.
So okay?
Yeah, I
Sure.
was gonna say, because we did have an issue with the other club just a few months ago, with them not behaving as a club, but behaving as a bar. And, I mean, I don't care one way or the other, but I want to make sure that they have the appropriate license. They're either a club or they're a bar. And if they're not going to do what a club does, then.
Then it's time to look at them.
Then we need to see about changing that license.
Exactly.
Sure.
Next.
Members of the commission, we also have a communication from the Massachusetts State Lottery Commission dated May 16, 2008. There is an application for a Keno license with the State Lottery Commission for the establishment known as the Old Place at 282 Fletcher Street, Lowell, Massachusetts. I believe that's the establishment that is record of the License Commission will show as the Acres Sports Pub. And so the board need not do anything with regard to this, but if you wish to object, the state is requiring that we send them a notice.
No. We don't have they don't get any other license from us for it, do they?
For the
No,
lottery?
for Keno, no.
No.
It's all
No, there's
state
no local-
control.
Yeah, it's a state matter.
No.
Also, just this morning, I received, by way of email, a communication from the fire chief, Edward Pitta, in which apparently communication has been sent by way of the state fire marshal's office that apparently some carnival promoters are allowing their employees to establish some type of temporary residency on the grounds of carnivals, and that they're using box trailers as temporary housing. We have no regulation in place to address that issue. The communication from the state fire marshal's office is part of your package, and that's a matter for
Public
future
safety,
consideration.
yeah.
For future consideration.
And we license the carnival. This comes under public safety. I mean,
Well, the question, I guess, the question that Chief Peter has for us, board, is, and for the other the inspectors in the city of Lowell, is whether there should be something in place to prohibit that practice. Now, presently, the only carnival we have is the one that's taking place at the moment at the Pawtucket Boulevard, is the Fiesta shows. So I don't know whether there's reason for city officials to check it out, but in any event, that's
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's all I have
Run
to
over
say
there and
about
check that out.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Anything? How's the city? Nice and quiet? Nice in the neighborhood. See if you can, if you had a chance, see if you can research that for him. He really is a decent guy. He's been there for a long, long time, and he is very good to the people over there. You know, I don't know how that would work, but it would seem to me that, you know, a small business like that, that's one person, you know, is very difficult if you get sick or you land in a hospital or, you know.
I will look into it, based on my reading of the ordinance, it's pretty clear, personal license, and therefore it's him. And if something happens to him, either the car doesn't go out, or it has to go out with another person who also has a personal license. And I think that the reason they have it is to keep the proliferation.
Oh, yeah.
The cart that's out for 24 hours with rotating shifts of people.
See, what was happening was a lot of, before this ordinance took effect, it came into being, downtown on Palmer and Middle Street area, like 10 o'clock when the bars were closing, there was somebody who would position himself right at the corner of Palmer and Middle Street.
Yep.
And people would obviously flock to the vendor, but first thing in the morning, people that were opening up their businesses would realize that there was a mess right in front of their doorstep. And it was grease spots and
Papers and everything,
wrappers
yep.
and what have you. That was just part of it, and it went from there, so there was no way.
Midwest.
Well, the good news is that now you've got, is it the place that came in, the Bad Dogs, they're open until 3 o'clock in the morning on a weekend.
But by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Commissioner Weicker, because
They're serving
that will not be able to
right.
continue, I believe. Their beer and wine license was approved in Boston.
Right.
It's just a matter of my issuing it once we have the certificate of inspection. And I know that Chief LaValle has some serious concerns about the practice of allowing patrons in
sales.
after 2
Okay.
a.m. Certainly, 2 a.m. is late enough, but the 3 a.m.
Well, it'd be very foolish with all the people downtown, too.
There was
You
one
know,
thing I wanted to ask the law department to look into, and only because I've seen a uptick in the number of police reports where we're getting, where we have drunken patrons assaulting police officers. And off the top of the head, and maybe you may have to do some research on this, what is the authority of the License Commission to require that license holders not allow these people in for a period of time after they've been involved in an incident with the police? Drunk patron gets into it with a cop. I think we saw one report where he was grabbing at the cop's weapon belt. Why should we, as the city of Lowell, allow any establishment to stay open that lets that person back in their bar?
That's gonna be something I have to look into
Yeah.
specifically about the License Commission reaching out to touch an individual person. That's, my concern would be, it's maybe outside the scope of the License Commission, to tell a business owner, you cannot serve person X if you want to keep your license. That would be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just
But
something,
I can
if you
certainly-
could look at it, yeah.
I can certainly look
Well,
at it, or have Brian look at it.
I have always thought that was the most foolish thing in the world. We were just saying about the incident at the Gala Club. The people came out. That's a club. They should have known whoever the people, but no, there wasn't one person there who knew the person in the fight. Okay, so he doesn't get identified. Secondly, you know, being a private club, you know this guy's a troublemaker. What are you letting him in for? You know, you just, you're off. Go some other place. It's mind-boggling that people think that way, but they do. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
We're coming home, Benjamin.